Hello and welcome to this edition of On the Record. I'm your host, Jerome Sawyer, and once again, we're on the road on location, this time in Samson Key, for one of the most highly anticipated events in the tourism industry in a while. Today, we witness the groundbreaking here at Rosewood, Exuma. This project, which was brought to the Bahamas by the Yntegra Group, comes with a lot of promises. Economic impact for the people of Exuma, the creation of jobs, and the transformation of the tourism industry in this area in so many ways. But with a big project comes big responsibility. Responsibility to the environment, responsibility to the people of Exuma, and by extension to all Bahamians. In this edition of our show, we are going to take you through this entire groundbreaking. You're going to hear from all of the key stakeholders, but more importantly, we're going to have an exclusive sit down with the man behind this entire project. So stay with us as we get started. We are about to dig deep into this project and answer all the questions that you've been asking. On the Record continues right after this.
To kick off our coverage, the Yntegra Group invited a special media delegation to one of our favorite destinations, the Exuma Cays. Their reason was the official groundbreaking of the Rosewood Exuma development. This highly anticipated project will be situated on East Samson Key and feature luxury suites, multiple restaurants and bars, a Rosewood wellness sanctuary, sports and water recreation facilities, along with 2 marinas. Beyond luxury, the development is expected to stimulate economic growth in the Exumas, creating 250 jobs during construction and 150 permanent positions upon the resort's opening. On a rainy Thursday morning, our team was flown into Black Point, Exuma, where Yntegra CEO Filipe McClean and a warm welcome from the bright students of the Black Point Comprehensive School greeted us. Together, they received the Prime Minister and his delegation, presenting him with a Rosewood branded shovel to mark this historic moment. Part of our team joined the Black Point community for lunch, where residents shared their excitement firsthand. Meanwhile, media colleague Shanique Miller and I boarded a helicopter with the Yntegra CEO for a separate luncheon alongside government officials and key stakeholders from the skies. Felipe shared his excitement about the project and his hopes for what it will bring to Exuma. After lunch, we were transported to Samson Key, the site of the ceremony. A gathering of government officials, island administrators, and invited guests from across the surrounding keys came together to celebrate this milestone. At the ceremony, pride filled the air. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, beamed as he shared his remarks.
Prime Minister, colleagues, Exumians, ladies and gentlemen. I happen to be the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister responsible for tourism investments and aviation. Today, though, I proudly speak to you as an Exumian. And I want to especially welcome you to my home. This is the 191st time I've traveled the Exuma Cays personally. And each time I come, I recognize the allure of these 365 keys has become world-renowned. And today, I celebrate with you because you recognize Felipe at Rosewood, the magnificence of these islands that we call Exumas, but that I call home. So I congratulate you, first of all. I thank you for having confidence in the islands of the Bahamas. I thank you for your investments and for recognizing that the Bahamas truly is a premier brand and a luxury destination around the world. And this is not by chance. We worked very hard to make it so. So today we solidify our partnership. And this is a partnership that I truly believe in. This ultra-luxury resort signals strong global confidence, as I said, in the Bahamas, while ushering in a new era of sustainable high-value development in Exuma's and the Family Islands. So today, my heart is warmed that you've used the word sustainable. You've used the word responsible. And this is what we feel as Exumians each day, that we are blessed to call this place our home. And therefore we acknowledge that you recognize the significance of this beautiful place to us. As the Minister of Tourism, Prime Minister, I recognize that I'm not allowed to have favorite islands. But I am delighted to be your MP for 365 of them. I thank you for the honor to serve. But this project hopefully will generate lasting economic opportunities that empower these local communities. The people of Black Point, the people of Farmers Key, and the people of Staniel Key, and all of the surrounding areas. When we speak of development, we don't just speak in terms of the numbers. We think of the economic impact, the lives that it will affect, the quality of lives of people who would be able to send their children to college and have a better way of life as a result of these developments. I hope that this development will continue to set global standards as you've done with Rosewood, Yntegra, as you've done. And I hope that it will define a new era of consciousness, luxury, emphasizing the beauty of Exumas. Now the economic impact, the jobs, the business opportunities we welcome. We hope that this will be a win-win proposition, and we are delighted that you acknowledge the harmonious nature of this community, what we call Exuma and our home, and the significance of your contributions to it. Let me just say, as an Exumian, and someone who was born and grown here and who loves this place, and someone now with an opportunity as a policymaker to shape the future of these islands, that we take development seriously. We take a long-term view to economic development. We put in place the strictest approval processes. We demand that there be environmental impact assessments. We demand that there be environmental management plans. And we ensure through the experts of the Department of Environment, Planning and Protection that there is ongoing monitoring of every development in the Exumas and throughout the islands of the Bahamas. We acknowledge that this is a serious business that impact the lives of present and future Exumians and Bahamians. And we understand the mission. And I'm delighted that you have embraced the possibilities and the principles on which we stand. So today, Exumians, this is an exciting day. Amen. I'm excited about the possibilities.
Shortly after, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis addressed the crowd, reinforcing just how impactful this partnership will be for the Bahamas.
It's truly a wonderful occasion. I made it a point to be here today because I want everyone to know. I want the world to know. I want the detractors to know that I, Bray Davis, support this venture. As we stand together on this key, Samson Key, to begin a project that embodies the promise of Exuma and of course the Bahamas, as we place the first shovels into this soil, we break ground on a resource that represents opportunity, partnership, and a shared future for our islands. This project, as you know, is being driven by Felipe and Yntegra Group, whose decision to invest here is a statement of confidence in our Bahamas. So to you, Yntegra, we say thank you. You are the mission to see in Exuma potential of something extraordinary. You choose to invest real capital, real energy, and real commitments into the Thailand. And that is the message that we heard across the world. The Bahamas is a place where investors can believe in the future, and where partnership can flourish. You also recognize Rosewood Hotels and Resorts, the operating partner, whose reputation for excellence ensures a district development will meet the highest global standards. You're here in the Providence, and you're here now in the Exumas. Rosewood Exuma will become a destination known for luxury, authenticity, and a deep respect for its surroundings. Together, Yntegra and Rosewood bring both investments and it brings credibility. That combination makes this groundbreaking a milestone in our country's story. Exuma is admired globally. Its turquoise waters, stunning beaches, and natural charm have drawn visitors for decades. But for those of us who know it well, Exuma is also for the families who have lived here for generations. It is a place where children grow up with a sense of belonging to something special, as the Deputy Prime Minister number Parliament Exuma has indicated. That is why today's groundbreaking is about more than attracting the world to Exuma. It is about opening doors to the people who call Exuma home. This project will bring jobs in construction. It will bring careers in hospitality once the resort opens. It will bring business opportunities for local entrepreneurs and suppliers, as the principle of Yntegra has mentioned. It will create demands for farmers, fishers, and small businesses who can contribute to the success of this resort. And it will showcase the culture of Exuma. Culture, its food, its crafts, its music, to visitors from around the world. In short, it will provide opportunities for Bahamians to benefit directly and meaningfully. But development must never come at the expense of what makes Exuma special. Our islands are fragile treasures. We have insisted that all major projects must respect our environment. Here on Samson Key, a portion of the island will be reserved for eco-friendly initiatives. The architecture will reflect Rosewood's philosophy of a sense of place, integrating the natural surroundings and celebrating the cultural character of Exuma. We must ensure our children and grandchildren will inherit islands that are just as beautiful tomorrow as they are today. I believe this development strikes the right balance needed for it from the principles of Yntegra and Rosewood. So I'm encouraged and warmed by those sentiments. When we came into office, we in the Bahamas faced deep challenges. The economy was struggling, unemployment was high, schools were closed, and public trust was low. We reopened the country and we built our economy, putting Bahamians back to work. We did not settle for survival. We set our heights on renewal. Today, unemployment has fallen to its lowest ever since 2008. International institutions have recognized our progress. Record levels of investments are flowing into our islands. Rescue and recovery are vital steps, but our mission has always been to go further. Our goal has been to build a larger, fairer, and more inclusive economy. That is what this project represents.
It is proof that our vision to expand opportunities, island by island, is working. Development is no longer concentrated in Nassau alone. It is reaching into Exuma, into San Salvador, Long Island, Neutral, Grand Bahama. He's competing at peace. What's good about all this? The leadership of this government are all island royals. Got KCD?
First up.
Yeah, KCD. You got Ryan Tinter. Got Chester Cooper.
The first
And you got me.
Island boys.
And as we speak about our islands, and as the Gabby indicated as Minister of Tourism, he really can't decide on which is the favorite island. But as Prime Minister, like we say, all of our islands are unique. And all has its unique characteristics, and culture. But you can't leave that. And as we progress, each of our islands is beginning to take its rightful place in building the national economy, contributing to a stronger and more resilient Bahamas. Today, this project adds its voice to that chorus of progress. This is part of a broader transformation across the country. We are modernizing airports to improve connectivity. We are investing in docks and roads to support commerce, and we are transforming our energy grid to deliver stable and affordable power. These upgrades create the foundation that makes investment possible. They also create the foundation that allows Bahamians to succeed. For the young people of Exuma, this groundbreaking carries a message of hope. It tells that they can build their future at home. They can find training, careers, and opportunities without leaving the communities they love. You heard the commitment from Rosewood. You heard the commitment from Yntegra. It tells them being you, the young people, that their island matters and that we believe in them. For our partners, this groundbreaking demonstrates that the Bahamas is a country where responsible investments can thrive. We are a nation of talented people, strong institutions, and a government committed to balancing growth with sustainability. That combination is rare and makes the Bahamas a unique destination for investments. We are breaking ground on the idea that investment in the Bahamas must create opportunity for Bahamians. We're breaking ground on the principle that development must honor our environment. We're breaking ground on the promise that the Family Islands are central to our national story. So when the doors of Rosewood, the door open, the world will see a destination shaped by Bahamian talent. That is the true legacy we are building here. Congratulations to you, Felipe, Rosewood, and to the people of Exuma. Together, we are proving that it's always better and will continue to be better in the Bahamas.
When we come back, we sit down one-on-one with Yntegra CEO Filipe McClean, who responds directly to the questions and concerns surrounding this development.
We are back on the record here in Samson Key, where we have just witnessed an historic groundbreaking. Felipe, thank you for joining us. This has been a big day for you.
Oh my God, yeah, it's been a big day. It's been 4 years in the making, and here we are breaking ground on this amazing project, which is Rosewood Exuma.
Take us back to the moment where you actually put this shovel into the sand and turned it, you along with the Prime Minister and others. What was that moment like for you? What was going through your head?
Quite emotional, right? Because it's been a long journey. It's been 4 years, but Very proud because what we're doing is very special, Jerome. We are working with the best consultants, with the best one of the best operators in the world, commanding the highest standards, and we're doing something very, very special here in the Exuma Cays. So we're doing something that is going to have a true impact on the community, and if you do that, you have to be very meticulous into what you do and work with the best people around you, right? And that's what we're doing. We're very proud of this moment, and now it's time to get these helmets and get to construction.
So take us back now to why was Exuma chosen in the first place?
It was during the pandemic. I've been, in multiple islands in the Caribbean, and for some reason, it was my first time, and I couldn't get my head around that why I didn't know about this location. And then you start realizing, well, there's no offering. Well, it's very hard to come, or well, you need a private yacht or be a billionaire and own your private island. Well, I said that shouldn't be the case. So that's when I started digging into the matter and understanding what are the limitations of getting titles for the islands, the limitations or that other developers maybe had in the past. And I said, I'm young, I'm resilient, I can do this. And it was 4 years that took us to be here. It's not been easy, right? But the world has evolved. The world is looking for an experience like the one we're going to be able to provide here in Exuma. I think that the timing is right also with technology, construction technology, infrastructure technology. Maybe this project 20 years ago was probably not feasible. But today here we are in a remote island with perfect signal, with a Starlink on top of us, and with new innovations and technologies that make this something feasible, something great. We are 1 hour away from Miami, so we need to take advantage of that. And we are in one of the most beautiful places I ever been. I travel a lot, and I travel with my family. This is my kids' favorite place, and we always come back, and there's nothing like the Exumas. But if you're gonna develop in the Exumas, you have to do something great. You have to work with the best brands. You have to do something that is meticulously planned, and that's exactly what we're doing.
You talk about brands. You've chosen probably one of the most luxurious brands in the world when you talk about hotels in Rosewood. So how does this partnership with Rosewood align with Yntegra's broader vision?
Exuma is already a brand, right? That not too many people know about it because there's not really an offering here, but it's already a brand. And Rosewood is another brand. If you combine both brands together, then you're doing something great, right? And that's what we're doing. We decided to go with Rosewood because mainly for three aspects. One is that their ethos is sense of place. So they're gonna preserve the heritage and the culture on the project. So Rosewood Exuma is gonna have that sense of place that Rosewood commands and has on each of their properties. For example, the Carlisle in New York is very different than the Rosewood in Nassau or the Rosewood in Mexico. Each of them, embraces the culture. And we believe that with Rosewood, we had to embrace, or with any brand that we will bring here, we would have to embrace the culture, and that's one of the reasons we chose Rosewood. Second reason probably is because they know the Bahamas, and they have a tremendous operation in Nassau. And I tell you that because I talk with employees there in Bahamar in Rosewood, and you have proud employees, proud to be working with Rosewood. So I think that was one of the things that also made us decide to go with Rosewood. And third, because they are one of the companies that has most of the awards for environmental efforts. So we believe that a project in the Exuma has to be a responsible project, and we want to push the bar and go beyond with Rosewood. So we are on track right now, to give you an example, to be LEED certified on all of our designs and all of our projects. That's something that we don't have to do, but we're going beyond. We want to be LEED certified. We want to get all the best certifications that we can get for environmental efforts, for innovations, and that's what we're doing with Rosewood.
We'll talk about the certifications in a moment. But what makes Rosewood different from other developments in the Caribbean? You talked about New Providence, you mentioned Mexico, but what will make this project different and special, more special than other projects in the region?
It's going to embrace the culture, as I said. We are creating a staff village that is one of a kind in the world, with embracing the culture and local businesses. We're going to have local businesses servicing that staff village. So to give you an example, there's a famous Lorraine's Cafe here in Black Point. There's going to be a Lorraine's Cafe in the staff village. We are going to have different amenities and facilities that are going to be operated by locals. As a matter of fact, we already started opening the process and getting a lot of interest from local businesses. I think that's unique. Another unique aspect is that it's going to have that sense of place. So it's going to have, all of our designs, everything we're doing is, working with the nature that already is here, working with the landscape that is already here. So we're not disrupting anything, but we're embracing it. So I think that those two aspects are pretty unique. And of course, service. I mean, we already have one of the best locations, a great brand, and if we can provide the best service by attracting the best talent, the best Bahamian talent to the Exuma, I mean, we have a winner proposition.
In your remarks today, you mentioned the international certification. You alluded to it a moment ago, but help us to understand what it is and why was it necessary for you to go after the certification when you said to me earlier that you necessarily didn't need it?
The type of clientele that we're going to have in this resort demands it already. Luxury has changed in the past decade, I would say. Luxury is no longer the fancy marbles. It's no longer, some of other things that were considered luxury in the past. Now luxury has changed. You have to be environmentally conscious. You have to have a sustainable development. We are on track, as I said, on a Fitwel certification, which means that you are creating environments for the well-being of the guests. So tourism and luxury have evolved a lot in the past decade. And this is exactly what this project is going to be all about. And my hope is that we are going to be, awarded a lot of awards for all of the efforts we're doing, because we are really pushing beyond trying to do something really special with Rosewood. We have hired, the best local consultants, but also internationally. And Rosewood wants this project to be the #1 project in the world. So imagine that.
I want to now shift our focus a bit to the project itself and talk about the phases and design. Walk us through the phases from construction to completion. What is it going to look like? Give us some idea of the timelines.
Correct. So the project is scheduled to open in end of 2028. So we start construction now, which we're ready to start. We have the equipment here. We have more equipment arriving. We started already with the hiring process. We are on track for that, and the first phase is to open up the roads, creating the nursery, starting with the man camp, right? And then immediately after start with the marinas and the service dock. Once we start with that, the first thing that we're gonna do is the hotel, which is at the core. As a matter of fact, we are right at the location where the beach club is gonna be. And that should happen in the next 3 years. After that, we're going to have another 2 or 3 years of finishing the private residences, and that would be the realistic timeline for this project.
You mentioned that Rosewood was chosen because of its emphasis on and its care for the environment. Talk us through some of the key sustainability features that are going to be incorporated into this project.
We're going to have solar. Right now, we are considering having liquid natural gas, so cleaner energies. All of the materials, or most of the materials we're choosing with the architects, are sustainable. We are going to have sustainable practices throughout the project. So, as I said, we engage a consulting company that its focus is to bring us the most innovative technologies, the new practices that are out there to really do something that is special, but also very environmentally friendly.
Let's switch over now to the economic impact. How is this project expected to impact Exuma's economy? We've heard a lot about it, but it's one of those questions that people ask up against the sustainability part and the environmental impact. But what's the economic impact expected to be?
So the economic impact is north of $1.6 billion, $336 million direct to the pockets of the Exumans in salaries. But it goes beyond, because this project is, as I said before, is going to allow new businesses to start. Businesses that don't exist today are going to exist tomorrow. People are starting to realize that we need services. We need landing crafts that service our islands. We need restaurants and small hotels to host some of our workers or engineers or architects. We are working already, with many small businesses, but that's already growing, and you can see the difference in the last 4 years. And I just see that that's gonna really increment in the next years. I mean, people have realized that this is happening, this is moving forward, and I see a lot of people also moving back to the Exuma because. As you know, the government announced the expansion of the airport in Black Point, and they're looking forward, to be part of this new journey in the Exuma Cays.
So not everybody has welcomed this resort. There has been quite a bit of opposition here in Exuma. Even some groups have come together to form an alliance. First of all, how do you respond to those who say that developments like this only benefit the investors?
That's absolutely wrong. To begin with, projects in the Bahamas take longer, are a lot more costly than other locations. So if your main objective is to do an investment and make money, probably I wouldn't say that you have other options than building a private island in the Exuma Cays. This project is to create legacy. This project is to create an impact for the community. This project goes beyond making money. That's not the primary goal of this project. This project is something that is gonna need a lot of work. As I said, we already are 4 years into the process, and we have another 4 years to go. So then you have 8 years. But in 8 years, you're gonna have a project that truly has impacted the community. A project that has generated 200 direct jobs and 400 indirect jobs, $1.6 billion of economic impact in the next 20 years. So you're changing lives. Then you have schools that want to come here to Black Point and open. You see families getting reunited and being able to live here. We're creating, as I told you, a unique, one-of-a-kind staff village for 150 workers. So it's gonna really, benefit the community, and that's our goal.
Some of the main concerns have to do with the environmental impact, the North Bay area in particular, and there's been a lot of concern about that and a lot of questions raised. Why is dredging necessary in that area?
Look, first, there's a lot of misinformation. We're not dredging the channel. In fact, I saw a video last week that they were saying that we were dredging the channel. If you look at the brand, we're not dredging the channel. The only place we're dredging is the access to the island, and that's natural. In any island, you need to dredge to get to the beach and to get to the island, right? So dredging is necessary, but our dredging is minimum. The reality is that our dredging is only 1.4 acres, not what has been out there. The government knows that.
They have said the size of 3 football fields.
They have said a lot, and a lot of there has been a lot of noise, but the reality is what the government knows. The reality is what DEP knows, and we went through a very rigorous process with DEP. We've been very carefully in everything that we're doing, and the reality is that we're not dredging any channel, we're not dredging any sandbar. The reality is that our dredging is truly minimum.
How do you, though, assure that the impact is going to be minimized when you consider that the area does quite a bit of marine life. There is seagrass there. These are things that I've seen. But how do you reassure Exumians and Bahamians in general that the impact is going to be minimal?
Well, that's the reason that there's an EMP, right? An environmental management plan. We are going to replace any mangrove that is removed by tree. We're going to replace any tree that is removed by tree. But again, if you look into the plans very carefully, you realize that a lot of the information that has been out there is just not accurate. Again, they were when I saw the video last week, they were showing you that we're dredging that channel. I haven't seen a permit to dredge that channel, so we're not. They said potential dredge. We're not dredging that channel. Period. Right? We have a permit to dredge 1.4 acres to have access to the service deck. That's it.
And I guess the question is, is there any potential impact to the mangroves, the seagrass, and any sensitive ecosystem that's in there?
Yeah, any project has an impact, right? But that's the reason that there's an environmental management plan in place, right? And I can assure you that the impact that we're going to have is a lot less than a lot of other projects that have been out there. But that's not me to judge. DEP has been very professional with us. I think that our environmental consultants have done over 1,200 projects here in the Bahamas, and it happens to be that this project, there has been more noise on this project than other projects, but the reality is that when change happens, sometimes, there's noise, and we are all for responsible development. We believe in what we're doing, and we're doing in a responsible way. And the process with DEP has been rigorous, and everything is public, and we are open, and we believe that even though our projects are not comparable with our neighbor, we can coexist. Anybody can have, we all have neighbors, right? So we should be able to coexist.
One of the other concerns that they raised was this proposed 400-foot seawall, and then the concern that it's going to change the topography and change the flow of the currents and even impact other properties nearby. How do you respond to the critics about the wall?
I've heard every time I wake up and I hear something different. I've heard about generators at the beginning, that they were complaining about some generators. Then they were complaining about some dredging on a channel that is not happening, and that now they are complaining on a seawall that they artificially generated in an image that is not even a render. That I don't know who did that render. And so I don't know. To be honest, what I decided with this project is to stay focused. Don't get confused with the noise. We know what we're doing. DEP is on top of us, right? DEP has been around. Has been around with this government, with the previous governments, and we need to abide by the rules and regulations of the Bahamas, and that's what we're doing.
So DEP has approved a seawall for you?
DEP has we have our certificate of environmental clearance to start the project. So in terms of on the seawall and all of that, that's part of the process. Yeah.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about Yntegra itself. Some of the critics have said to us that Yntegra has never completed a development. How do you respond?
Yeah, I know that. Look, Yntegra is a company that has been since 2006. We've always tried to do special. We always try to do different and very special and unique opportunities, like focus on unique opportunities. And I believe that what we have here in the Exumas is very unique, and we decided to invest a lot of money. The facts are that since we started, there's no other group that has invested more money than what we have invested. We have 2 projects here. We have over $150 million already invested in the project. So I believe more in actions than in words. I try to ignore the noise and go by signal, right? And I can tell you that we're here sitting today on a groundbreaking that is happening with a community that is ready to start. and with a developing company which is Yntegra that is betting on the Bahamas. Not not every developer in the US or globally is willing to take the time, come every week here, and bet on the Bahamas, and that is what Yntegra has done. And Yntegra is betting on the Bahamas, is betting on the Exuma Cays. We are surrounded with hundreds of people that are part of this project, and we believe that we have the best partners. Rosewood has been very diligent in choosing to work with us as a developer, and I can tell you that they are very proud of what we have done, and they trust us and we trust them. The government also has done his diligent job, and in terms of making sure that this company has the funds to do a project like this. They have done all of the due diligence, and actions talk louder than words, right? So we're here, ready to start, and the community is ready, and I think that's what matters at the end, right?
You had a lot of community support out here today during the groundbreaking. It's a lot of Exumians, people I recognize from my own experience here, people who've come out, in the physical sense to support, representing various sectors. But how are you going to ensure the transparency with the public during this process so that people feel comfortable about what's happening because they know what's happening?
Right. I mean, everything is transparent in terms of the permits, in terms of what you get. You need to publish it. There's certain rules. I'm not going to change the rules in the Bahamas or the laws, right?
Sure.
But imagine if you are building your house and your neighbor wants to know what color your restroom is going to be and what type of bed are you buying. I mean, and then he's going to say, oh, Jerome is not sharing that with me. What So we are sharing. We're open to every material that needs to be public, and we have to do it, of course, right? I can tell you that going back to what you asked me about the experience, I can tell you that there's 33 Rosewoods around the world. I mean, I think that's a track record. I can tell you that Rosewood is betting on this project to be the #1 project for them. So that's what matters, right?
How do you ensure, because I'm sure that you know this, that Exuma really holds a special place in the hearts of Bahamians. It's one of those places that we hold very near to. Every island in the Bahamas is beautiful, but it's that place that we can see from space.
Yes.
So it's very, very special. How do you ensure that you continue to maintain the natural charm? I mean, just look around us.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The feel, the ambiance, everything that really represents what is Exuma. But how do you ensure, what do you say to Bahamians to ensure that you're going to keep that natural charm and that balance?
We're going to keep it because that's the beauty, right? I mean, we're only developing, less than 50% of this island, right? We're keeping that beauty. We're keeping, most of the landscape, right? And we're going to work with the local landscape. We're doing everything in a way that keeps that exactly that vibe that you're saying, to give it as a connection with nature. And I think that's the beauty of the Exumas. This is barefoot luxury. I see myself here with shorts and shirt and no shoes. That's exactly what we're doing. We're gonna keep that nature and that beauty in all of our projects.
I have to tell you, I feel completely overdressed to be here today.
Yeah, let's take other
I feel completely overdressed. Looking ahead now to the next 5 or 10 years, how do you envision Rosewood Exuma contributing to the global image of the Bahamas? Something that you said at the beginning really stuck with me. You said when you first came, you realized people, there was so much people didn't know about it. It was difficult to get here, and obviously you want this project, I would think, to change that. But how do you envision this project 5-10 years from now, when we look back at this conversation? How do you want this project to really contribute to the change in the global image of the Exumas and the Bahamas?
So I believe that what this project is going to allow is to show globally that responsible development is possible, that the Exuma is accessible, that you can get to the Exuma, and there's that great service in such a beautiful location also is possible. That for the community to live here and work here is possible. So we're opening a lot of possibilities, right? Not only for the community, but for our guests. We're showing the world that investment in the Bahamas is possible, right? I can tell you that my experience here in the Bahamas, and we've invested, hundreds of millions of dollars, has been great. It's very professional. I'm from Bolivia. I know how hard can be, South America or some other Caribbean countries to invest and do businesses there. I can tell you that you guys have something very special, very, very professional. All of the institutions, I can tell you that has been, very helpful, but so professional throughout the whole process. Now, it took a lot of time. It has been, all of the process have been, very, very responsible, and we've been, have had multiple exchanges of documentation. Sure. It has taken its time, but we're here today, 4 years after, and I can tell you that, you guys can attract great investments for the Bahamas. The best brands are coming. I think that is no coincidence, Jerome, that out of the 5 best brands in the world, now 3 are coming to the Exuma. Uh-huh. I think that talks really good about what the government is doing, definitely.
Right? We're just about out of time, and I just want to wrap with this. There are still people who are very opposed to this. Are you open to those conversations with those groups? Are you open to still talking, to possibly come to some compromises, to find possibly some middle ground?
We've been always open, always willing to sit down, and always willing to coexist. We are willing to keep those lines of communications open, and yes, I think that both projects can coexist. What we're doing is really special. I think that what we're doing is actually going to benefit the other projects and the neighboring islands, and yes, absolutely, we're always open for that.
All right, Felipe, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for hosting us here today. It's been a long day. You have accomplished a lot. This has been a great milestone for you to get to this point, and I thank you. We wish you all the best as the project really progresses. We're going to have more questions. Hopefully you'll have us back to answer those questions, but we wish you all the best. At the end of the day, we just want to see great things for Bahamians, for Exumians, and for all of us. So thank you very much, and all the best to you going forward.
Thank you, Jerome. Great to have you here. Hope to see you very soon, and look forward to this amazing journey. Thank you for the community, the government, and all of the people that came here today to be part of this incredible milestone.
And I just want to say, the next time we come, I'm coming in shorts.
Oh yes.
Barefoot.
And no shoes.
And a t-shirt.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Our very special thanks to the Yntegra Group and the people of Exuma for sharing their story with us today. This Rosewood Exuma project stands at the crossroad of progress and preservation, raising questions about whether we can do a development while also preserving the things that make us uniquely Bahamian. Once again, it has been our pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.